I've been thinking a lot about what World of Warcraft players want. I've always had this in the back of my mind ever since Cataclysm came out and the very first big exodus of players happened. And I mean, I was one of them for a time. Heck, I've been one of those exoduses quite a few times. But I always end up coming back, and honestly, at this point, I don't plan on leaving again. But what got me hooked to begin with, and what I find seriously missing now, is what I think might be the real thing that players really want. And that is, players want to want. When I was playing in vanilla, I remember, still, it's a vivid memory. I guess this will be a memory I'll keep forever, which is sad because it's from World of Warcraft. But I remember a guy running through Stormwind. He was running into the main gate, and I saw the sword in his back, and it was green, but I could see through it. Like it was transparent and green. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, I didn't know gear could even exist in the game. I ran after him and I couldn't find him. But I vividly remember that sword. And I didn't know till way later, maybe even into Wrath, what the sword even was. Because I didn't do much AQ in vanilla. I didn't really get too far into raiding, and I didn't really look at anything up. I kind of assumed that I made up the whole scenario in my head, but then when I found out that it was a sword that dropped off 10-man Kuranax, the second boss in AQ, I have been farming it, trying to farm it on several characters since, and I still haven't gotten it. I've gotten that red sword from Twin Imps, but I have not gotten that green one from Kuranax. In any case, that is a want of mine. And at the time, I was a healing paladin who healed for, a MC raiding group that was making their way into BWL. My hopes of getting that sword were basically nil. I didn't really have any chance of getting it. But I really wanted it. I had a lot of drive to want to try to make it a thing, make it a reality. I like that. I like that drive. I like that want. I like that in vanilla. The devs didn't have to hold everybody's hands and give everybody something to do. Not like nowadays, where it's tons of dailies, tons of this, tons of that, invasions. The Blizzard will keep you busy. You don't have to worry about, actually joining a community and trying to keep each other busy, or, oh, I get everything I need, I don't need anything else. But now a friend's like, hey, can you help me out? And instead of me going, oh, I got a maybe, but I gotta do 30 dailies, and, the answer's always, yeah, I can help you out. And it's cool. Playing for the sake of others is cool. That's also something I want to do, but I have not really had the ability to do, because it seems like I can't do anything without having the ability to get something out of it, even if it's to help out end game stuff for friends and whatever. Because even now you have the chance of getting some Warforged weapon with increased item level. And item levels, that's another thing that has reduced want. Because now, people, the only want they really give you is the item level caps. It's you want to be able to get into this, but you can't get into this because your item level is not high enough. So I could go out and I could be yeah, here I am, a Brit Paladin, full on mastery gear. I hit the item level cap, but oh my goodness, you don't want me in your group. Holy crap, you don't want me in your group. Oh. It's like an artificial want. It tricks people into thinking they've hit some kind of plateau. Plateaus back in the day were bosses and raids that were breaking guilds. Like Nax, when it was first released back in vanilla, almost nobody saw it. I'm not sure if anybody in my server had even did very much in it. I didn't. I never even did the attunement quest. I wasn't even sure how to. But that's one of those things that I wanted to do. I really liked when Next came out, they had all those events and stuff like that happening, Undead and Stormwind and stuff like that. I still have some items like the Haunted Memento. I still have that in my bank on my Paladin. I really liked it. I wanted it, and that when ICC came out, I was more driven than ever to play, even though my chances of seeing it were so astronomical. I was not going to see it. It was just realistic just to think, yeah, that wasn't going to happen. But I didn't want to be realistic. I wanted to progress. That plateau is so high, it was nuts. But players can make it there. I want to make it there. Only the best went in there. I wanted to be that guy. And we had rock stars. Those rock stars on our server, people who did make it to those plateaus, the people who wanted and achieved and got what they wanted, they were revered. I mean, there were mages out there who could one-shot people, with not even a crit. Just firebolt, boom, done. These kind of people existed. They were like idols. You could idolize them. You could want to be them. You could see the areas that you could actually climb up to through them. It was a lot of motivation for me to want to try. Nowadays, you can get a 900 gear score and not even be in a guild or even have anybody to support you or anything. I think that's insane. I mean, there's nothing you really can't do right now with a 900 gear score. You can kind of go into anything. I mean, I think that I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that's the base. It's even a kind of a high base, but anybody can get it. Anybody. So having it, not really that special anymore. Having certain pieces of gear would be great if it wasn't for the transmog situation, where now you weren't forced to show off your things, so anybody could walk by, have the best gear in the world on, but not like the look. So anybody could walk by and they could be anybody. Everybody's kind of a stranger. Nobody's wearing trophies like they used to. It reduces the want. All of these things reduce it. And then what we have in place is we have Blizzard trying to ultimately create a single player experience in an MMO. By reducing the size of groups and stuff like that. Now we got 3-man scenarios, that take up some gameplay stuff. I mean, that's all cool, that's fine. I don't really mind it so much. But once upon a time, I was doing 40-man raids every day, I think except for Sunday, for months. And that was hard and painful, but it was opportunity to grow that I would never really want to give back. And that doesn't exist as much anymore. Now we have, instead of just going through, it's just going through the motions. You beat this dungeon, and then you go and you beat it again on a harder difficulty. Yeah, sure, some mechanics may change. Making some things harder may change up a fight tremendously. But it's not like, I can see the same stuff on LFR. Do you get more story? Do you get to see an extra boss? No. So, you don't really get to break new ground. You don't get to be the guy hitting the gong at AQ. You don't get to be that guy. You don't get to go where no man has gone before just because you hit certain plateaus. If you're just in it for the story, you have no reason to want these things. None. The only reason why you'd ever want these things is just for the challenge. Or just to give your guild something to do. Or just, basically busy work. Because nobody's going to be able to see you as that rock star. Everybody's got legendaries now. You got a legendary? Great. I got 2 yesterday. So golf clap for you. Everybody's holding an artifact weapon. People have been getting what they want. Like, that's the whole name of the game now when it comes to from Blizz, is how can we give players what they want? And I think that has kind of shriveled my drive, like, every time. And I think it's a misstep. I think that Blizzard should work on giving people something to want. Like, if I was to suggest anything to Blizzard right now, I'd be like, okay, look, bring back your old copy of Nax, pump it up until it's mathematically impossible to kill one boss, and then, once you kill Kel'Thuzad, then you get some kind of crazy transmog that nobody could possibly get otherwise. And then when, inevitably, that small pack of people on your server actually gets it, and they can run around and be like, look, like, this is what it's like to be pro. And then when everybody else sees them, they're going to be like, wait a minute, they can be the rock star. We need some ability to put trophies on the rock stars to make people stand out. Because I miss the idols. I was never an idol, but I knew one. When a friend of mine had Hand of Rag, and we used to really harass Horde cities with it, and it was fun. A lot of vivid memories of that. But he had a completionist mentality. Like, he was done. He felt like he beat the game. And I knew somebody else who, when they got the legendary axe out of ICC, they felt the same way. So that seems to be like a common thing. But I mean, that's the kind of thing, is like, they wanted, and then as soon as they hit that, the plateau, their want was gone. It would have been nice for have something else for them to want, but kind of their position in the game was more to drive others to want more. Like, they were the rock star now. They were at the top. I don't know. That's what I think World of Warcraft's missing now, is they need a lot more want, a lot less get, and I think the players will appreciate it. They'll appreciate that they'll have something like that they could put on their to-do list, that maybe they might put another to-do list on day one of an expansion, but they may never see it. Never. I would be cool with that. Just knowing that there's something else out there that I need to get, but not getting it is fine. That won't frustrate me. I won't quit the game. I will probably play more somehow. I think that should be the next step for Blizzard, is to kind of take a step back. Stop giving people what they want. Stop giving people legendaries. Stop giving people artifacts. And then putting them in the game, but making them freaking impossible. That would drive me to try to get them, even though, whatever, I may never. I don't know, tell me what you think. This has been Tech Jadis, playing WoW.